So, ladies and gentlemen, my good friends, the job of the police officer is not only one of investigation, but one of protection. The moment the crime is committed, your police officer...
Is naturally the motivating force leading...
Oh, yes, the motivating force leading to the downfall of any police captain who has to make one of these blasted speeches. Sergeant Ames, who booked me into this chicken and peas circuit?
The commissioner, Captain.
Oh, he did? Yes, why didn't you tell me?
I just did.
You did. All right, where are we now? What do we do next?
The joke.
The joke?
The one about the rookie cop.
Oh, yes, the one about the rookie cop. I'm reminded of the rookie cop, the rookie police officer who was so delighted on giving his first traffic citation that he gave 10% off for cash. Is it really that funny?
Well, I laugh every time you say it.
That's because you gave me the joke. What next?
Why don't we play back the tape, Captain?
Tape? What tape?
The one you did yesterday. You were absolutely marvelous.
I was?
Listen.
Thank you, Commissioner, for that wonderful introduction. It's a real pleasure for me to be here with all you members of the Ladies Auxiliary of the United Benevolent Foundation of Retired Civil Servants. And as a member of your police department, I think it's only fitting that we center...
I was doing so well, too. Captain Burke here.
Captain? Tim. Les and I are at the circus.
Well, that's nice. Grab yourself some cotton candy and stay away from the tattooed lady.
What about a dead clown? Impaled on a spike.
Impaled on a spike?
Triggered through the floor of a breakaway car. Neat and very gaudy.
All right, I'll be right there. Save a space for me on the high trapeze. I'm sorry, Sergeant. I've got to run.
But what about your speech, Captain?
I stand on my record.
What?
Play them the tape.
It's Burke's Law.
Tired of jamming and cramming stuff into your closet? Want to clean up your place but don't have the space? Then you need the ingenious Cabina Closet, the new portable closet.
Zero Rydell was my closest friend. He lived with me and Rena, my wife.
That sounds like a cozy arrangement, Mr. Zito.
Call me Gogi. Everybody does. Zero lived in his own section of the trailer. He was a loner. All clowns are.
Even married clowns?
Especially married clowns. Rena's a spec girl. She rides Big Mamie in the Kick 'em.
Rides Big Mamie in the Kick 'em?
Rides an elephant in the finale.
Oh.
Not much of a life for her. I've been dreaming of getting out of this sawdust alley and maybe build a little house. Have a couple of kids, maybe, but... Rena's the practical type. She says it takes more than dreams to build houses and raise kids. Zero got out of the sawdust alley finally. The hard way, poor guy.
Any idea who did it?
I don't want to think about it. There were 12 others besides me that got into that little car. All of us have been in the act for years.
Tim and I have talked to them all, Captain. Looks like clam-up time in the big top.
What's there to tell? When he got in that car, he was alive. He was dead when we got out.
Murdered when he got out. It's something to think about. When you turned the body over, did you see the murder weapon?
I did, Captain. We sent it down to the lab for possible fingerprints. But just about anybody could have triggered it through the floor of that car before Rindell ended on it.
Was he always the 13th clown?
First one to get in, the last one to get out. It was supposed to look like a combust-up.
Come what?
combust-up. Spontaneous. Actually, it took a lot of hard work and practice to get 13 Louis in a little jalopy like that. I was always the last one in and the first one out.
What'd he look like?
Well, he looked like a typical tramp clown, a big red ball for a nose, zinc white for a mouth.
I meant without makeup.
Average guy. Kind of your size. Why? What's the difference now what he looked like?
Well, it's just that the appearance of victims sometimes can give us a clue. Jealousy, maybe. If a man is too handsome or a woman very beautiful.
Zero Rindell wasn't a collar ad, if that's what you mean. Like I said, he looked something like you.
Where did he come from?
Europe someplace.
Did he have any family?
I guess Rena and I were the closest.
Any enemy?
Look, why don't you talk to Alexis Raff? She's the owner of the circus. Maybe she can answer that question. Her trailer's outside in the back, the big one.
That's not a bad idea, Gogi. While you two look through Rindell's things.
Introduce yourself to Rena. She'll be glad to show you around. I haven't got the heart. You know, when you lose your best friend like I did this afternoon, Captain Burke, that's something else. It's like getting spiked right through the heart.
Sure, Gogi, I understand. Thanks.
You're the circus press agent, Eddie, and I want this kept out of the papers. Yeah, come in. Just see that it is Eddie. Schnell.
Miss Raff?
Yeah.
I'm Captain Burke. I'm with Homicide. I'd like to talk to you about Zero Rindell's murder.
Oh, yeah. Perhaps a little champagne and pâté de foie gras would make it easier for both of us, Liebken?
Yes, a little champagne might make it a little easier.
Oh, good. Oh, you open it. Men are so much better at it. Men are better at so many more things than we poor, defenseless women.
For a poor, defenseless woman, you seem to have done all right running a large, successful circus.
Oh, it hasn't always been so easy, Liebken. Hamburg, right after the war. A lonely city. Devastated. Wicked. I was very young, and with my father gone, I had so much responsibility.
I can imagine.
Why don't we sit over there, where we'd be more comfortable, and bring the pâté? The circus was my father's dream. I could not let it die the way he died, the animals and the people. Oh, there was Gotthard, the human picture gallery.
The tattooed man.
Decorated from head to toe with a map of Hannibal's campaigns. What a strange place for the Second Punic War. But Hector was my real favorite, an expert sword swallower.
Well, you've got to be sharp for that. It takes a little know-how.
Until that night in Marseille, when he switched from Persian scimitars to French rapiers and got the hiccups.
A French rapier will do it every time.
Oh, you are not drinking your champagne, and you haven't eaten a thing. Enough of my life story. Let's make ourselves more comfortable and talk about you.
Let's make ourselves more comfortable and talk about Zero Rindell.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's much better. I don't see how you men stand all these clothes.
A full dress is a little uncomfortable, yeah.
I only wear it to preserve my public image.
And preserving public image is rather important around here.
I'm sorry, Liebken. I'm afraid I don't understand.
Well, no doubt you'd have been much happier had Zero not been murdered in the ring today.
Of course. Tragic accident.
Accident?
Yeah.
Spike carefully inserted in the floor of the car, and you call that an accident? And the whole circus knows that one man in particular is going to be pinned to that floor by 12 other men? Look, Miss Rapp, I'm a police captain. I ask questions, but I get answers.
Gestapo tactics, eh, Liebken? Not in my circus. I'll answer a subpoena if I am still in town. But for now, I've had a long and trying day, and I'm always exhausted after the matinee performance.
Yes, I can see why.
Oh, you're cute, Liebken, but much too serious and much too suspicious.
I'm paid to be serious and suspicious.
There must be other ways to make a living for a handsome man like you. Auf Wiedersehen, Captain Burke. I'm sorry I wasn't much more help.
Yes, I'm sure you are. By the way, don't fold up your tent.
Get me Gideon. Gideon, I want to see you right away.
I thought you would. I don't like sticking my nose into other people's business, but I'll come right over.
If you have osteoarthritis knee pain, here's some comforting news. You don't have to let OA knee pain control your life. Synvisc is a simple treatment called a visco supplement that may give you up to 6 months of OA knee pain relief without surgery or pills. Synvisc provides the shock absorption to help you move more freely. In knees with osteoarthritis, the natural fluid in the knee can break down. Synvisc supplements this fluid. To learn more, call 1-888-539-2001. Synvisc may not work for everyone. Before beginning treatment, tell your doctor if you're allergic to products from birds, such as feathers, eggs, or poultry, or if your leg is swollen or infected. The most common side effects are temporary pain, swelling, and/or fluid buildup around the knee. Synvisc has not been tested in children, pregnant women, or women who are nursing. To learn more, call 1-888-539-2001 or go online today.
If you plan on building, furnishing, or remodeling your home, or you're just tired of paying retail, don't spend another dollar. Now, you can enjoy an incredible selection of top quality name brand products priced up to 50% less than retail. Take the first step towards saving hundreds or even thousands of dollars on nearly anything for your home. Call for your free Direct Buy Insider's Guide to Buying Direct and learn what retailers don't want you to know. Each full color page of the Insider's Guide is packed with...
I still say it's an invasion of privacy.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Zito. It's our job. Standard procedure.
Oh, I don't mind you going through our things. It's Zero's privacy I'm talking about. All he ever got out of life was a little laughter, a little applause. And believe me, you won't find those in dresser drawers or hanging on a hook in some closet. Tell me, what will they do with him? I mean his body.
Oh, it's been sent to the morgue for an autopsy. Standard procedure, too. After the coroner's verdict, the body will be released to the nearest of kin.
All right. I guess that means me and Gogi. We're all that he had. And it's up to us to see he has a proper funeral. You know something? He never complained. He never stuck his nose in other people's business. And believe me, that is not par for the course in Sawdustville.
You and your husband were very fond of him, weren't you?
Fond of him? Oh, we love Zero. He was always good for a laugh or a couple of bucks if you really needed them. You know something? My husband wanted out of this racket. But Zero could even sweet-talk him out of his half-baked dreams about having a happy home.
You mean the little house someplace and a couple of kids and...
So he told you about that too, huh? Well, let me tell you something, Buster.
Please do.
Dreams are cheap in this racket, where the people line up twice a day at $1.50 a piece to buy them, and all the popcorn they can eat, with a Wild West show thrown in. And would you believe it? My husband couldn't understand all of this, and I couldn't take it. Oh, you wouldn't understand what I'm talking about. You weren't born on an elephant.
No, I was born in a hospital. A little less orthodox, but it was really quite comfortable.
You want to know something else? My old man was a barker, a front man, a spieler, and my mother was a spec girl. Oh, I don't know, somehow it just gets in your blood.
Well, we all seem to have had different beginnings, all right.
But that's the whole problem. Why I'm telling you about us, how we feel inside. For instance, Zero started with a reptile act, charming pythons. He was just a little kid. Sometimes the snakes were even bigger than he was.
How did he happen to become a clown?
I guess you might say he just closed the lid on one part of his life and opened it on another.
You mean he just put away the python and pulled out the powder puffs, huh?
I guess you might put it that way.
Mrs. Zito, do you have any idea who killed him?
That's a pretty hard question. The 13th clown. But I'll tell you one thing. You'll never find out one thing about a guy by going through his drawers, his handkerchiefs, his socks.
Well, it's a job we have to do, Mrs. Zito. It's never pleasant.
I know. I've heard all that before. Standard procedure. Tell me, gentlemen, do you ever get the murderer?
Well, we get our share.
Well, I sure hope you find zeros. You know, a thing like this kind of makes you wonder if you can even trust your best friend. Speaking of Zero's best friend, I better find Gogi. I'll bet he's getting loaded in some bar. But then who could blame him at a time like this?
We'd better catch up with the captain.
Oh, don't forget about the funeral. It should be a fancy one. Silver handles and flowers. The works. Of course, I suppose he'd just as soon be buried in a sawdust kimono.
When we release the body to the next of kin, they'll have to make the decisions.
Oh, but you can't. We pull up stakes tomorrow. We're moving up the coast. And we can't just leave Zero here alone.
You can hardly take him with you, Mrs. Zito.
I guess you're right. Like you said, standard procedure.
This is what we removed from the floor of the clown car. It's triggered like this.
That's an evil weapon. What do they think of next?
We found these in Rindell's dresser drawers. Might be a little difficult to put the pattern together. Savings and loan company receipts from Sarasota to Seattle.
Totals over $200,000 in 17 different savings accounts.
That's quite a total.
Not counting a promissory note for 20 grand, payable to Zero Rindell on demand, signed Gideon Auerbach.
Who he?
Well, according to this circus program, the great Gideon is the only man in the world who can stand on his nose on a revolving ball.
What's so unique about that?
I've never been able to do it.
Have you ever tried it?
Well, no.
Might take a little time. Any man who can stand on his nose and sign a promissory note to a dead clown at the same time must have a little talent. I suggest you have a check with Auerbach in the morning.
Then there's his membership card and the Nazi party.
The Nazi party?
Yeah, but I can't make it out. First of all, it's in German. You can't read German. Second place, it's illegible, which makes it even harder.
Harder for you, Tim? You mean you can't read an illegible foreign language? You must be slipping. Have the lab boys take a look at it, see what they come up with. What next?
And last but not least, this key to the penthouse suite of the Beverly Palms Hotel.
Beverly Palms Hotel. Very interesting. Das ist alles, Liebchen?
Liebchen?
Oh, just a term of endearment, Sergeant. I was thinking of an offer Alexis Raff made me while she was trying to preserve her public image and her private sex appeal at the same time, which is hard to do. I wonder what this will unlock. Clowns? Sword swallowers? Or a tattooed man with the Second Punic War in the strangest place?
I don't know about those little flights of fancy, Amos, but I checked, and the suite's rented to Ariel Montel. Premier aerialist in Alexis Raff's International Circus and Europe's foremost flying beauty.
Want me to have a chat with her in the morning?
Oh, no, thanks, Tim. It might be easier to capture a flying beauty in a hotel suite at midnight.
Lucky me. I just happen to have a flying beauty net.
Lucky me. I've got the key. Don't they ever make up the bed? Must be a Lions convention.
Stupid! You upset Tolerant!
Not to mention what he did to me.
Ah, shh.
Now, be a good little boy. Otherwise, you're not going to get your antelope for breakfast. American hotel are so stuffy. Do you know that most of them don't want to take him at all?
I can't understand that.
Well, they loved him at the Ritz in Paris.
Well, the French are more broad-minded. You don't find many trampolines anymore in American hotels.
Who are you anyway, and what are you doing here?
I'm Captain Burke anyway. Homicide, Miss Martell. I assume you are Ariella Martell?
And you seem to assume yourself into my hotel suite, which I happen to keep for the big reason I do not want to be disturbed.
Well, sometimes we are a little intrusive.
Sometimes I fix a sneaking martini. Would you join me?
No, thank you.
A man in an American hotel that doesn't want a martini?
A smart policeman never mixes business with vermouth. That's Burke's law.
A smart policeman doesn't come to the wrong penthouse to find homicide.
Maybe it's the wrong penthouse, but it isn't the wrong circus.
Zero. Yeah, I heard. Now you're wondering why you find the key of this suite in his trailer.
Particularly since the key fits.
Zero was my husband. Hold this while I jump. Oh, I do this every day. Once in the morning and once at night. It's good for my shape.
It's working wonders. Now, tell me about Zero.
Well, first, let me get started. See, we were married when I was 16 and he was almost 40. And he was a star, and I was a nobody. And then we were touring in Belgium, and Alexei Ralph saw him, and he walked out. He didn't even say goodbye. He just walked out. Why don't you come and join me?
Me? On trampoline? I'm not to slip and wake up Talleyrand.
Well, that's all right. He only gets nervous when the trampoline stops. Come on, take off your clothes.
No, I'm a little cold.
Oh, at least your shoes. You're not going to be outdone by a woman, are you? If you want the rest of the story, you will have to jump for it.
All right, but it's extortion. Push him.
Well, then I was in a circus in Madrid. And one day I tried the flying bar, and I was made. It was a miracle. I suddenly became the biggest star in all of Europe. And that's not counting what happened to me in America. Then I had agent and contract and star building. I even had a center ring. Very good. Turn over.
Turn over?
Do a somersault. It's easy.
It's easy, huh? You mean, like this? All right. Now I'll settle for the rest of the story.
Well, you see, Zero kind of missed, how do you say, the gravy train? So, I was not married to him, but I wasn't divorced either, you know. So, I was married to my stardom, so I started paying him.
You mean he blackmailed you?
Well, I bought him a zipper, a platinum zipper, but it closed his mouth.
Who would have cared?
I would have cared. Me, the big European star, Miss Martell, the flying trapeze beauty, married to a 30th clown in a breakaway car act. Can't you understand? I hadn't seen him for years. Oh, I've got Talleyrand for companion, and I had a flying bar for a lover.
It's a lonely picture.
Much too lonely.
You know, maybe you should have...
Tell me.
Easy, Miss Martell. Talleyrand may be jealous.
Oh, he's already asleep.
Maybe he'll wake up.
He's going to wake up if you don't treat me right. He may jump right through this door and attack you.
All right. So he jumps. One question, Miss Martell.
What?
Did you... Did you kill Zero?
Oh, such a question at a time like this.
Are your kids eating enough vegetables?
We're doing that right now. Muscle relaxers. Guess you better send over a couple hundred. Lumbar discs. And maybe better send over some of those, too. You mean operate, Doctor? Oh, no, Doctor, that isn't going to be necessary. Oh, no, it only hurts if I sit, stand, walk, or lie down. Now, what about the scratches, Doctor? No, a lion. The Pasteur treatment. Oh, no, Doctor, I don't think Talleyrand had rabies. No, as a matter of fact, he didn't even bite me. All right, I'll call you later if I'm still conscious. Oh, boy.
What happened to the lion, boss?
I don't know, but I've got a feeling he's sorry I left. Have you heard from Tim or Les?
They called while you were scraping off the blood. They've gone to see some guy about his nose.
Well, gentlemen, I haven't very much time. It takes me 4 hours to get my nose ready for the performance. At the moment, he's resting.
How do you breathe?
Well, it took me a long while to perfect this, but now I can breathe through my ears.
What happens when you sneeze?
Oh, I never sneeze. Sometimes I get a little nosebleed when we are up in great heights. For instance, when we are playing Switzerland, Lloyd's of London gets a little nervous.
Lloyd's of London.
Sir, I will have you know that mine is the only nose in the world which is insured for a considerable sum of money. As a matter of fact, more than Jane Mansfield. And now, if you'll excuse me, it is time to get my nose ready for the performance.
What is that?
Oh, these are creams. All of them contain vitamins. You see, my nose has to do a lot of hard work. It has to be strong. Therefore, I have to give it nourishment.
How did you happen to discover this unique talent, Mr. Arbach?
I didn't discover it. I was born with it. Like Beethoven, Rubens, Nijinsky, Caruso.
But in each case, it required years of study and practice.
Are you suggesting I didn't practice? My parents saw to that. You know, when all the other kids were playing ball or practicing to learn the pianoforte or taking out their first date, there was I in our basement, balancing on my nose on a rubber ball. Well, of course, like any other kid, I objected at times, but I now realize that my people had my future happiness and prosperity in mind.
Well, it looks like that schnoz has made quite a life for you.
I'd be very delighted if you wouldn't use that word. To my nose, it is rather like calling a Stradivarius a fiddle. But surely the police department didn't ask you down here to discuss my nose?
No, they sent us to discuss this.
Zero Rindell was murdered yesterday, Mr. Orbach.
And this piece of paper makes me a suspect?
It suggests an explanation.
Well, the explanation is comparatively simple. You see, about 2 years ago, we were playing Chicago. And one evening, Zero invites me out for a few drinks. A thing I normally don't do. You know, it's bad for my nose. It dilates the blood vessels. But I suppose I was bored or something, and I went out with him. We had a few drinks, you know, and I finished up the evening in company with a blonde. Now, I didn't know that she was the girlfriend of a notorious gangster, but Zero did. So he blackmailed me. I don't think it was so much for the money. I think it was to bolster his ego. You know, he was jealous of me.
Jealous?
Yes, of my nose. You see, he had to stick one on. Well, now, gentlemen, if there are no further questions, I really must get on.
The DA might have some, paying blackmail to a man who was murdered.
You know, there were many more people nearer than I was to the clown car. I mean, why don't you ask the other funny men? Hector, Arnie, Big Jim, August, Slivers. Oh, you should feel his nostrils responding to these eyes. Great little troopers. They always know when it's showtime.
Oh, come on now. It's not what you think. We had just finished working out on the trampoline. Ariella was telling me about her love affair with a trapeze bar. And suddenly Talleyrand leaped through the bedroom door and jumped me.
Yeah, these old French diplomats keep pretty agile.
It was her pet lion, and he was no diplomat.
Henry, you better make those hot packs ice packs and put one on his head.
Right now, I'd send for a cup of coffee and try to get up. If I'd known you were coming, I'd have changed my sheet. doctor says it's good to sit up.
Works wonders with me. Now tell me, did you get around to discussing who killed Zero Rindell during this safari?
Well, we touched on it. That's when Talleyrand decided to jump on me. He's a very jealous lion.
And what did she tell you?
Oh, not too much. Come on now, just because Zero was trying to blackmail her?
Zero blackmailing Ariella Martell?
Yes. Zero was her husband. It's a long story.
Well, that makes two long stories. Zero was also blackmailing Gideon Auerbach. Something about a blonde and a gangster from Chicago. Oh. The lab didn't come up with any fingerprints on this bike, but it did decipher this Nancy party card. Made out to Alex Raffner. Doesn't that ring a bell?
Alex Raff, of course. Alexis Raff. You know, I'm beginning to hear a light tinkle. Hamburg during the war. A father dies, leaving a young girl with a German circus. And also the disgrace of his Nazi connections.
You know, Captain, for a man in your condition, you're doing pretty good at jumping at conclusions.
Well, I think it's worth exploring. Ariella, Gideon Auerbach, and maybe even Alexis Raff. They all wanted to get rid of Zero. Who else?
Captain, we can't hold the whole circus on suspicion of murder. Leads, maybe. Proof, none. And it's funny what a tight little family this circus world is. They're all owners, but they all stick together.
Well, then you join the tight little family. You get to know them better.
Join them how?
By sending in a ringer.
You mean go underground?
Yes. With a clown's makeup.
You're showing your old touch of genius. Won't that excite more suspicion, sending in a complete stranger?
He won't be much of a stranger. I've asked Alexis to send me Zero's pictures. Also his clown costume.
Alexis Raffner?
Yeah.
So when does the prime suspect become a collaborator?
She didn't know why I wanted them.
The makeup man's here, boss.
Good, Henry. Send him in. And bring me the clown costume, please.
Isn't he sure on his toes for a man who just got up off his stomach?
I heal fast. Besides, it's maybe the best way to get our boy. Or our girl.
Ah, gentlemen. Now, which one of you is to be our laughing Punchinello for today?
How about me? I played a way-out whiteface at the Boy Scout Bazaar.
This is no amateur night, Junior. This calls for a man with more experience, such as I had on that Carney case.
All right, all right. I'm the one who's supposed to look like Zero Rindell. Remember me? No collar ad.
But I was born a fool.
That merits consideration.
I have baggy pants.
True, true. I'm sorry, boys, but I don't want either one of you to take this risk.
What about makeup poisoning on top of that lumbar disc and Talleyrand rabies?
Nobody gets poisoning from my makeup unless they drink it.
Okay, bartender.
No, no, you
All right, let's go. Let's see now. A rubber ball for a nose, a black beard, and zinc white for a mouse.
You know, I bet the commissioner will think you're just clowning around.
I'll try to slip in without being noticed. Keep your eyes open. I don't mind an extra ounce and occasional drink or two, but spiking a breakaway jalopy is something else again.
Now, this is getting to be pretty jivey hocus pocus. But I'm not sure I'm hep. Exactly what is the plan?
It's very simple, young fuzz. I'm going to mix with the clowns, try to get into the car act, if I can work it.
Someone will probably think you really are Zero.
Someone better. I'm counting on a shock value to do the trick. In the parlance of past police procedure, I believe it's called a smokeout.
you doing dressed up in Zero's clothes? Who are you?
All right, relax, Gideon. I'm not Zero's ghost. I'm Captain Burke of Homicide.
But I still think it is a joke in very poor taste. I'm just about to go on, and I do not allow anything to excite my nose. Besides, in any case, I've already told your two-leg man everything I know.
Except whether or not you killed Zero.
Captain Burke, I may have wanted to kill him, but I wouldn't do it. It wouldn't make sense. For years I have practiced getting this right to balance on this. Now, would I, just like that, cut off my nose to spite my face?
I didn't come here to probe your proboscis.
I have already admitted I allow Zero to blackmail me, and I sign those little notes. But that is nothing. This is my fortune.
Well, I've heard of money growing on trees, but...
Zero was killed in the clown's car, and there are many people who will tell you at the same time I was here putting my most proud possession to bed, and that nothing prevents my nose from getting its proper rest.
Nothing?
Nothing. Excuse me, that's my music out of snuff.
Nothing.
Of all the rubbing and scrubbing, cleaning the hard way?
Anthony Sullivan here for the new Sonic Scrubber, the powerful portable sonic cleaner that fits in the palm of your hand. It blasts away dirt and grime without any manual scrub.
I didn't mean to frighten you like that.
Look, who are you anyway?
I'm Captain Burke. I'm with Homicide.
But why are you made up to look like Zero?
We're hoping to catch his killer this afternoon.
Well, you'll never catch her.
Her?
I mean, who else have you tried to frighten? The great Ariella? The great high and mighty? Who has her own hotel suite every town we play? Her own pet lion to talk to?
I had a very interesting talk with Mrs. Martell.
And what about Alexis Raff? Her in her white tie and tails, owning the circus, barking out her orders.
Well, she was quite cooperative.
Why shouldn't she be? What has she got to lose? Look, what do you want with me? I tell you, this is an invasion of privacy.
It's standard procedure, Mrs. Ito.
Standard procedure? I've heard that before. Why did this have to happen to him? He was such a sweet guy.
Sweet on you, Mrs. Ito?
Why do you say that?
Oh, just a guess.
All right. So it's a good guess. But don't you see, he was the only one who understood me. Gogi never understood. He never cared. Look, I have to change now. So if you don't mind, would you please leave? You've done your damage.
Damage?
Get out!
Some job of keeping it out of the papers, Eddie. You're fired. Well, of course I expect you to work miracles. What else is a press agent for? Come in. I'll talk to you later, Eddie. But you're still fired. I can't believe it, Liebken. You are Zero. So that's why you wanted the costumes and pictures.
And your cooperation after you explain this. Sergeant Hart found it in Zero's dresser.
Probably should have told you. This was my father's.
I suspected that.
I did tell you how I couldn't let the circus die. The way he died, this car killed him as much as anything in Germany. And when Zero discovered it, it started killing me, too. All the shame and the terrible memories and all the ways it could...
hurt your public image.
Fear is stronger than courage, Liebken. That's why it was simpler to pay him to keep quiet.
Or kill him?
You didn't have to say that. The circus is my life. Killing even a little part of it is like killing a part of myself, even Zero. So I paid him. What else would you have done?
Not sure. Not sure. But it's what I better do now that counts. That's why I need your help. I want to replace Zero at today's performance.
Well, that will take a bit of doing. Can you ride a popsicle?
Popsicle? Popsicle? A little sticky, isn't it?
A small motorcycle. All you have to do is steer it around the ring. But it's very dangerous.
That's nice to know.
Clown Alley leads right up to the center of the ring. I'll re-routine the entire show, put the car act on next, and the popsicles next to the finale.
Why did I have to think of this?
Now, Gogi will be loading in about 5 minutes.
Gogi? Loading?
He's in charge of putting the clowns in the car. That's why he gets in last. Now, you go find him, tell him I sent you to replace Zero. We've got to find a name for you.
Rover.
No. Slats.
Slats, yeah.
Be careful, Liebken. Be careful. The same person who killed Zero might try to kill you, too.
Don't worry, dear. I'll drive that popsicle carefully, and I'll make sure that I don't get stabbed in the jalopy.
This is Miss Raff. I want to combine all the clown acts and put them on next.
Tito?
Yeah?
I'm Slats. I'm replacing Rindle. The boss told me to report to you.
Yeah. Yeah, well, okay, dive in. Belly down, I gotta get 12 more fun guys in this flivver. Okay, fellas. Hector, Arnie, Big Jim, August.
Let's count the clowns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
It was too good a trick to use twice, Gogi. Thanks to a rubber spike Detective Tilson had up his sleeve.
Hey, buddy, you just broke every law on the book.
Don't worry, I'll fix it so it doesn't show.
Captain Burke, homicide.
You and this house and the champagne makes me feel like I'm back in Paris.
I'll send a jet to bring you back.
Come on.
Oh, just a figure of speech. Let's see now. À vous, ma chère.
No. That's an unacceptable toast in France.
What makes the unacceptable acceptable?
This, mon chéri. What's the matter? Something wrong?
No, nothing, Ariella, nothing. I'm just hoping that Talleyrand doesn't spook me every time the temperature rises.
Don't worry about it.
Coming up next on the American Life TV network, Mission Impossible, followed by St. Elsewhere and Hill Street Blues.